Ever wondered about the weird and wonderful ways people used to earn a living back in the day? Today, we're diving into some of the most bizarre jobs from history that no longer exist. From stealing corpses to lighting the night, these occupations will make you grateful for your day job. So buckle up for a trip down the job memory lane. First, let's delve into the dark and mysterious world of resurrectionists. In the 19th century, these individuals held one of the most grim occupations one could imagine. They were essentially body snatchers, exhumed bodies clandestinely from graveyards under the cover of darkness. But why, you might wonder? Well, their actions, as morbid as they were, served a crucial purpose for the advancement of medical science. During this time, the field of medicine was rapidly evolving, and the demand for cadavers for dissection in medical schools was high. However, the supply was low, and so resurrectionists filled this gap. They provided a means to better understand the human body, thus paving the way for many medical breakthroughs. As the ethical implications of their work became more apparent, and laws were changed to allow medical institutions to legally acquire cadavers, the need for resurrectionists diminished. Indeed, resurrectionists had a macabre job that modern society would shudder to consider. Next, we turn to the quaint job of Lamplighters. Picture a time when the sun set and darkness truly fell. In this era, the Lamplighters were the bearers of light. Their duty, to illuminate the streets with the soft, warm glow of gas lamps. Every evening, armed with a long pole and a ladder, they would go from lamp to lamp, bringing light to the world, one flicker at a time. Come dawn, they would extinguish these flames, only to rekindle them come dusk. It was a dance, a rhythm that echoed in the streets of the old world. But then came a revolutionary invention: electricity. It sparked the beginning of the end for our lamplighters. With the advent of electric streetlights, their services were no longer required. The job of the lamplighter was extinguished, just like the flames they used to tend. Today, the lamplighter's job seems almost romantic, a relic of simpler times. From the streets to the icy waters, we meet the ice cutters. Imagine for a moment a world without refrigeration. Yes, it's a chilling thought. In this world, the ice cutters were the unsung heroes of the day. Their duty, to harvest large blocks of ice from frozen bodies of water during the winter months. A task that required not only strength, but also a certain level of skill and precision. Carving through thick sheets of ice, often in freezing conditions, these hardy individuals provided the essential ingredient for food preservation, long before the convenience of our modern-day refrigerators. However, as with many historical jobs, their necessity dwindled with the advent of new technology. The invention of artificial refrigeration in the late 19th century marked the beginning of the end for the ice cutters. And so, as the world embraced the cool comforts of refrigeration, the once vital role of the ice cutters faded into history. The ice cutters, a job made obsolete by the march of technology. Next, we step into the grime-filled world of rat catchers. In the days before modern sanitation, these unsung heroes were essential in controlling disease in burgeoning cities. They dove headfirst into the vermin-infested underbelly of urban life, armed with traps, ferrets, and a fearless resolve. Their work wasn't just about eliminating rats, it was about safeguarding communities from the bubonic plague and other rat-borne diseases. The working conditions were, as you might imagine, less than desirable. Rat catchers often found themselves in unsanitary, dangerous environments, with the ever-present risk of bites and infections. They were, however, respected for their necessary and challenging work. As cities grew and sanitation improved, the need for rat catchers started to dwindle. The advent of modern pest control methods, including chemical pesticides and more humane trapping techniques, made the job largely obsolete. Rat catchers, a job that evolved into modern pest control. Let's talk about Town-Criers. In the days before newspapers and the internet, how do you think information was relayed to the masses? Yes, you're right. It was the Town-Criers who served as the primary news bearers of their communities. Dressed in elaborate costumes and ringing a bell, they would gather everyone in the town square to announce everything from royal decrees to local news. Their role was not just about passing along information, it was about maintaining a sense of social order. Their loud, clear voices echoed through the streets, ensuring every citizen was kept in the loop. But as printing presses came into existence and literacy rates improved, the need for Town-Criers began to dwindle. Eventually, they were replaced by newspapers, then radio, television, and finally, the internet. Town-Criers, the original news broadcasters, now a job of the past. Now we venture into the pseudoscience realm of phrenologists. In the 19th century, phrenologists were viewed as esteemed professionals. They believed that the shape and size of various parts of the brain, as reflected in the contours of the skull, could determine an individual's character and mental capacity. A phrenologist would run their fingers over a person's skull, feeling for bumps and indentations. Each identified bump was thought to be a physical indicator of a mental trait. For instance, a bump in the area, thought to control benevolence, would indicate a generous individual. Phrenology was taken seriously and was used in various fields, from education to mental health. However, as our understanding of the brain advanced, the basis of phrenology was debunked. It became clear that the brain's complexity couldn't be simplified into a map of bumps on the skull. As neuroscience evolved, phrenology faded into obsolescence, marking the end of this peculiar profession. Phrenologists, a job debunked by modern science. Taking a flight into the past, let's soar into the sky with the aircraft listeners. During the tense times of World War II, when technology was still catching up with the urgency of warfare, a unique job emerged. The aircraft listeners were employed to detect incoming enemy aircraft, a vital task in a world before the invention of radar. These vigilant listeners used acoustic mirrors and listening devices designed to amplify the distant hum of engines against the quiet backdrop of the sky. Their sharp ears and focused attention played a crucial role in early warnings against potential air raids. However, as technology advanced, radar systems were developed, offering a more efficient and precise method of detecting enemy aircraft. This rendered the job of aircraft listeners obsolete, their role in history often overlooked. Their task, once of paramount importance, faded into the echoes of history. Aircraft listeners, a job that now only exists in the pages of history. Finally, we turn to one of the most bizarre jobs, the whipping boys. Imagine being hired not for your skills, but for your ability to endure punishment. That's precisely what a whipping boy's job entailed. In royal households of the 16th and 17th centuries, the young prince was considered too sacred to be physically punished. So when the prince misbehaved, his whipping boy would be punished instead. A strange role indeed, but one that carried a certain prestige. The whipping boy would often be of noble birth and grew up alongside the prince, sharing his education and privileges. However, as society's views on corporal punishment evolved, and as the concept of divine right lost its influence, this job gradually became obsolete. Moreover, the rise of constitutional monarchies meant that royal children were no longer considered above the law. Whipping boys, a job thankfully confined to the history books. As we've seen, the evolution of jobs is a fascinating journey. We've delved into the world of resurrectionists, whose eerie task of exhuming bodies for medical science seems unthinkable today. We've walked the streets with lamp-lighters, illuminating our paths in a world before electric lights. We've felt the chill of ice cutters, carving out chunks of frozen water before refrigeration was a household norm. We've tiptoed around with rat catchers, a job as grim as it sounds, vital in keeping disease at bay in a time before pest control. We've listened to the Town-Criers, the original news broadcasters who kept communities informed before the advent of newspapers. We've touched upon the curious profession of phrenologists, reading bumps on the head to determine character traits. We've empathized with the whipping boys, a job thankfully left in the past. And we've learned about the aircraft listeners. Jobs continue to evolve, shaped by societal needs and technological advancements. Who knows what bizarre jobs the future might hold? But for now, we say goodbye to these historical jobs that no longer exist. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more.